Hello everyone, my name is Thomson Lai, the Asia Digital Leader for AECOM. I'm very honored that my digital replica is here with you. Whatever I do, my replica will do the same in front of you. Today, I'm going to share with you my view about digital cities. Before going into detail, this is something about myself. I've been with the geospatial industry for more than 20 years. Currently, I'm leading the AECOM Digital for the Asia area, driving adoption of digital technology in the region. Every one of you should know, city infrastructure is critically important to mankind. Without the development of infrastructure, our life won't be as easy as now. However, since 2019, globally all nations have felt the sharp impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Most have been hit hard due to lockdowns and movement restrictions, putting economic activities to almost a standstill at its peak. This has severely affected important sectors such as tourism, aviation, hospitality, manufacturing, and investment. It has also threatened livelihood and stressed social systems worldwide. Social inequality has worsened during this time. At stake is national stability, plus business and personal livelihoods. A year later, since the pandemic, governments all over the world are finding ways to better position the countries for post-COVID economic recovery and future resilience, where infrastructure development plays a key element. Infrastructure closes social inequality, and infrastructure development has multiplier effect of boosting and stimulating economic growth. A study of Business Roundtable and Association of CEOs leading companies in the US found that with every single $1 of infrastructure investment returns roughly $3.7 in additional economic growth over 20 years. Zooming in a bit on APAC, across the different sectors of services, all of them essential utilities for economic and social growth, the gaps are even clearer. As you can see, among them, transport-related services have the largest shortfall. But as government, commercial corporations, and people work together, realize this infrastructure development progressively, our cities continue to evolve with new emerging stresses on the systems. This includes changing urban population composition, workforce and business needs, and growing climate and pandemic threats. Cost of execution and ability to realize value of investment are also big challenges that inhibit progress. The time is now to consider new parameters and planning scenarios, particularly digital innovations, in our future infrastructure planning. As the gaps start to close with more projects being built, it is critical to look beyond the hard-built physical asset. One of the most important aspects that people have been putting tremendous effort is on how digital built asset can build alongside with physical built asset to maximize the investment on the city to benefit multiple stakeholders. To achieve this, building a digital city needs to be strategic with digital planning to drive the best outcomes. Traditionally, owners approach IT companies to procure IT infrastructure and application systems. Outcome could be successful, but sometimes, perhaps lacking of industry knowledge, the products delivered may not be able to meet the owners' and users' expectations. These days, digital asset is no longer a simple IT systems supported by hardware. It is a digital replica of our physical world. It has to be outcome-driven. It has to be customer-centric. It also has to be sustainable and resilient. There's actually no difference to physical asset. Building a digital city needs to have a forward thinking, including planning, design, implementation, operation, and together with industry knowledge in long run. Taking into consideration the owner's requirement, and don't forget the most important thing, the practical usage of the digital city. In the following slides, I'm going to share with you a few real cases from different locations of the world. See how the owners strategically plan and implement their digital infrastructure to support their day-to-day business. You'll see the 4 components on the screen that you are seeing now are always been taken into considerations. The first is about the city infrastructure. We always heard from people saying that we need to create a smart city. But why we are building a smart city? Lands Department of the Hong Kong SAR government has a clear vision on building their digital city foundation. Through a comprehensive digital studies, Lands Department decided to build a 3D digital city with information-rich spatial data. This city replica aims at facilitating the community to build more innovative and smart applications for the city, just like what we are using iPhone and Android, that there are ecosystem that people can build up on top of the platform with different applications. However, building up a highly dense 3D city like Hong Kong is no easy. Imagine we are using our traditional topographic survey method to capture data, even taking into consideration the latest 3D data capture technology. We will still need ages to create a complex 3D city like Singapore or Hong Kong. Therefore, Lands Department leverages the effort from public works projects. On one hand, 3D geospatial models are captured by latest technology. On the other hand, as-built BIM models created through works project will be pulled in together in the same data repository. The combined 3D city models will be shared to serve both the needs from public works projects and 3D mapping systems. Lands Department actually moved one step forward. Together with the Civil Engineering and Development Department of Hong Kong government, they pulled in BIM models and also 3D spatial data. Aligned with the governance being set up in this BIM harmonization project, data will be converted to open format, including IFC and CDGML, which support the common spatial data infrastructure initiative of the government, and to support the building up of the 3D spatial mapping system in the future, which will be open enough for application usage and everyone's use. The second one, zoom in a bit. We just talk about a digital city level, but zoom in a bit on a big mega size and mobile infrastructure things. It's a project in Malaysia. MRT Corporation in Malaysia, KL, actually plans to develop the second line, but now the project is actually in 2017, so the line is actually in commencement already. They developed the second line of the Klang Valley Mass Transit Railway System, which is a 52.2 km long with 36 stations. Similar to all the mega-sized infrastructure projects, they share the same challenges. They have a vast amount of data, including CAD drawings, geotechnical informations, different design intent, storing in different systems. And these data are not easy to be stored and also very difficult to be retrieved. Therefore, the customers, the MRT corporations, decide and plan at the very beginning of the project, during the prelim design stage, they have to set up an enterprise GIS platform to manage all the spatial and non-spatial data for the design and construction of the Line 2 projects. All the data, including CAD, GIS, and BIM data, are geospatially enabled and putting in the same web portals. People can make use of the centralized hub to retrieve all the information for decision making. A common data environment is also set up to store all the BIM data to retrieve all the detailed design within the BIM models. It's not only about information sharing and management. The planning on the system is actually also for the construction stage. Together with all the information managed in the web portal, all the information in construction site together with the design BIM models, the drone data that we capture every single week, and also the geospatial data. All this data will be mashed up together to help the client to monitor the progress of the construction every single month. You can see from the screen, all this data are mashed up to show the progress of the data, the progress of the project from time to time. We just talked about the strategy on a mega-sized railway project. But how about the existing building infrastructure? I'm going to talk about a digital twin created by the owner of a pre-war building. URA, Urban Renewal Authority of Hong Kong, has the vision to transform the building such as an ancient building into a smart building. As you all know, design and construction stage normally lasts for 5 to 10 years at most. But O&M stage, the operation and maintenance stage, is even longer and hard to sustain. It can be up to 30 to 40 years to be used. Defining the digital strategy is the key for us to better understand and what is required to develop a smart design and maintain the building with optimal efficiency. URA apply the digital technology in the entire project life cycle, not only for project management, also include design and construction. But one of the most important part is about the facility management, which is the operation stage. BIM and also BIM and other digital technology is also applied in this regards. But is it that easy to create a BIM-enabled facility management system, the digital twin? No. At the very beginning of the project, we work aligned with the owner that we create the governance and standards for the designer and contractor to create the BIM model alongside with all the necessary information, which may be included design intent and the construction details, which will be transferred through the industrial standard, COBE standard, to the facility management system, which is IBM Maximo in this case. And the outcome, the final product of the process is actually a facility management system, which is a digital twin of the pre-war building. The users of this system is not the owner themselves, not ourselves, but the property manager. The property manager makes use of this system day to day, managing their works order, supervising the system of the buildings, checking about the energy efficiency. Anything is going wrong, that they have to go check and fix it. So this is a system that you already create for the property management, but also for smarter building, which we can operate and maintain it in a better way. Building a digital city for efficiency, closely monitoring a mega-sized railway project, and operating a building in a smarter way are of course important. However, how to take balance the infrastructure development and uplifting the ESG standards is equally important for a city. And then a digital city covering environmental perspective is crucial. Accounting for environmental, social, and economic impacts is an increasing priority for many organizations, and understanding and measuring natural capital is key. The Natural Capital Laboratory, set up in 2019, is a unique project to do just this: live environment for identifying, quantifying, and valuing the impacts of rewilding. Located in the Scottish Highlands for the next 5 years, actually it's 4 years now because they started last year, the NCL is restoring 100 acres of forest and reintroducing lost species. New digital tools and techniques together with a digital twin for the natural environment have been adopted to track and communicate the complex data at scale, showcase the changes on the site, and create solutions which help tackle two of the biggest challenges of our times, that is climate change and biodiversity loss. The following, I will show you a video of the project. The project team will bring you through which have been achieved in this very meaningful project.
We have a really amazing opportunity with a piece of recently clear-felled land in the Highlands. We're aiming to restore habitats on site, to reintroduce locally extinct species, and inspire people to engage in the natural environment.
A natural capital is a way of looking at the world not as a resource to be extracted, but as an asset to be managed, much as we manage our financial capital. The Natural Capital Laboratory is using the latest technology to bring this approach to a rewilding project in the Scottish Highlands.
I'm Robert Spencer. I'm Head of Sustainable Development at AECOM. So the goal of the Natural Capital Laboratory is to create a body of knowledge and evidence and tools and techniques for understanding how business, industry and infrastructure can interact with nature in a more fruitful way. So we've got the three legs of the stool: AECOM, the Lifescape project, and the landowners, Amelia and Roger, who had this vision to rewild an area of land. They acquired a place up in Scotland, 100-acre site, and we're working with them now as part of the Natural Capital Laboratory. The environmental consultancy sector is going through a very significant transition at the moment. Many of our clients have set themselves targets to make better decisions in future about how they interact with nature. Instead of business and industry and infrastructure being over here and nature being over there, we are very much coming together that will enable much better investment decisions and ongoing daily business decisions. And the two key tools that we're using is remote sensing using satellite data and using drones to also capture parts of the spectrum that you can't see with the naked eye. We're putting all that data together in a way that creates a whole picture of what's going on with the natural systems at that site. What we want to do is visualize and make it immediately accessible. The usual way of presenting a natural capital assessment is a rather dry series of Excel spreadsheets. Our approach is to make that much more accessible. We've set up a social and natural capital dashboard. It's an interactive, visually engaging way of understanding the natural systems and how society can interact and benefit from them.
We've also developed a digital twin of the site, which allows us to really explore different scenarios of land management and different restoration activities without actually having to undertake any activities on the ground. We have some really exciting plans for year two with the use of environmental DNA techniques to better kind of understand and explore what types of species are on site. You essentially take soil samples or water samples, and through laboratory analysis, you're able to kind of pick up all of the different DNA that's within that.
One of the key things we want to do in the coming year is actually focus much more on the ways in which we can engage local community stakeholders in the social value of large expanses of natural capital and understanding natural capital assets.
We have started to develop virtual reality experiences to show people within the local community who really will be inheriting the land after the Natural Capital Lab is done, what site management activities we're undertaking, and also what different ecological features will look like for that site.
One of the areas that we want to move into is also looking at international partnerships as well to replicate this model more widely in different countries and different geographies and different habitat and whole ecosystems.
We're sharing all of these findings so that people who are working on larger scale projects can kind of learn from what we're doing to see what kind of pieces they want to take on board.
This work at the Natural Capital Laboratory is a tiny contribution to our understanding globally of how humans and society can interact much better with natural systems and have a better relationship with wildlife and biodiversity going forward. We've got a lot planned. We've only been going for a year at the site, but there's so much more to do. Being able to be involved in a project like this is really a privilege.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all the geospatial fellows attending virtually, we all see people talking about digital twin. But why don't we take a broader mindset when dealing with our future infrastructure and city? So digital cities, the twin of our physical world, are a powerful tool to create value while tackling global challenges. But how are we going to build up a digital city? To this end, our Asia Digital team will release a series of papers collecting best practices and lessons learned. The first paper will be featuring the strategy for creating a digital city from around the world. Please stay tuned to the launch date in April 2021. Thank you.